for John, Dr. John Marshall, ladies and gentlemen.
I am a scientist. And as you must have instantly thought, science, yes, funny, funny, funny. These two microbes walked into a bar. Only joking, but hey, let's try a couple of science jokes. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
To avoid prominent consanguineous agonistic competition for limited bioenergetic resources requisite for gonosemantic ontogeny. And one of my favourites, Charles Darwin was offered a choice. Was offered a choice between Codral cold tablets with pseudoephedrine or a nice cup of tea with lemon and honey to treat his flu. Of course, he took the natural selection! Oh, I killed myself. And I've got terabytes more where that came from. But unfortunately for you, time for only one more. A guy I know ate raw squirrel brains and got skiering, spongiform, encephalopathy. Mad squirrel disease. He went nuts! Oh dear, okay, I admit it. Perhaps science is not really that funny. Basically, we spend our lives trying to answer really, really compelling, life-changing and important questions that no one else gives a rat's ass about. Really, we're just little kids in big bodies wanting to know stuff. Mummy, mummy, mummy! How does nuclear cold fusion work? Son, go ask your kindy teacher. Mummy, how did the universe begin? Go ask your father. How did the universe begin? Now that seems to be a real biggie for we geeks. Sorry, scientists. So we've come up with the Big Bang Theory. You don't need to be Sigmund Freud to work out what's really on our minds. According to this theory, the universe began with a Big Bang. And after the Big Bang, once the universe was dressed and had its strength back, and smoked a cigarette, it started expanding. Science asks, what prevents the universe from expanding out of control like a retired footballer's waistline? Scientists believe it's this stuff that you can't see or even detect in any way, called dark matter. And despite decades of searching, not a single trace of this stuff has been found. Well, my 4-year-old nephew is working flat out in his quest to find the Easter Bunny. But I'll be damned if he can get a $50 million grant to do it. Luckily, we're not paid to find things, only to try. Which is why we became scientists and not air traffic controllers. Then, of course, science is always trying to explain the nature of time. The most famous scientist of them all, Albert Einstein, postulated that time is relative. So this means 15 minutes of something fun goes very quickly, whereas 15 minutes of something tedious goes very slowly. So, if you're having fun at a lecture, on biostratigraphic and paleo-environmental applications of testate amoebae. Woo! Yeah! It's at 17 hours over already! When is that guy talking again? But if your girlfriend takes you shopping on a Saturday for shoes, it's like all eternity passes. You age, and as a wizened old man, you die. You're reincarnated. Lifetimes and lifetimes pass in the cycle of birth and death. Birth and death, birth and death. Cycles and cycles of birth and death until finally, just before you reach enlightenment and leave the shops in a state of nirvana, she wants a matching bloody handbag. Anyway, in my work as a scientist, I spend a lot of time outdoors in the field, and when you have hopeless, pasty white skin, you have to protect yourself from the sun. You know the mantra, schlip, schlop, schlub. And when it comes to the schlop part of the equation, it's always scary to see what companies put in their products to sell to us for human consumption. And now the sunscreen manufacturers, in their wisdom, have included this new wonder ingredient, which is tiny little particles called zinc nanoparticles, which act like millions of tiny mirrors and reflect the sun to protect my skin. Excellent! Brilliant! Wonderful! So, when I put it on, I'm like a human mirror ball! Spinning and reflecting! Spinning and reflecting! I'm the sunscreen queen, pale and white with a nano sheen, oh yeah! Trouble is, this stuff, the particles are so small that the nanoparticles can pass right through the pores in your skin and get into your blood. This stuff is dangerous. For God's sake, it can strip the galvanizing clean of corrugated iron, so what the hell is it doing to me in my blood? Let's put it like this. Sunscreen queen, nano zinc rupturing my spleen, oh yeah. I'm John Marshall, and to prove my point, even though it seemed like only 5 minutes, you've just witnessed my entire stand-up comedy career. Thank you very much. Thank you, and good night, and can I have my shirt back, please?
Dr. John Marshall, ladies and gentlemen, is here. Wow. That is this dude. Doesn't he have the most pinchable cheeks of any? Just give him a pinch, especially a Jew. Only one with Jewish hands to give him. John Marshall, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, guys. I was talking.